I was lucky enough to work with Joe Casely-Hayford in the late 90s, so I understood how we approach fashion, and not just from an intellectual or conceptual perspective, but also from a human perspective. And so the struggle and the resilience that Joe had to show to navigate fashion during that period really resonates with many people in their lives, particularly from underrepresented communities.
When my dad started out in the early 80s, as a black designer, you can be tarnished with one brush, and the idea that you're a black designer means something. So he kind of took it on himself to break down those restrictive barriers, and the story he had to tell wasn't monolithic, it was layered, and it was deeply woven tapestry of the many stories that I guess defined his life. He was weirdly absolute in his ideas, but at the same time open to learning, or what he called unlearning. People assumed because I was the younger one and he was the older one, I was always bringing the new ideas, but quite often it was actually the other way around. And he had all this obviously knowledge that he gained over the years, but he was also fascinated by youth cultures older than you.
The idea really came post George Floyd, when I realised that figures like Joe Casely-Hayford had not been sufficiently celebrated in fashion culture, and that was necessary in order for young black designers in particular to move forward. It was really important that there was a root system that allowed them to flourish. So there was a call with the BFC, conversation with Caroline Rush about what legacy looks like in the future and what the BFC do to promote and nurture young black creative talent. I think a lot of black people of this generation really see Joe as like a beacon of creativity and an icon of, yes, it can be possible to be a kind of a generational figure and to be able to pass on that kind of wisdom to someone like Taya, and to see magic in her work as well. And also very much in line with the way that Joe would work. So I know that Joe would love to work.
Yeah, I think when we were looking through the candidates, we were thinking about the value system that Alice and my sister, were brought up on, and trying to find someone who shared those same beliefs. Things like integrity, authenticity, a distinct tone of voice that transcends fashion. Those are the kind of things that were integral to, I guess, my dad's design process. And so we were looking for similar traits.
What we liked about Taya was firstly her energy, but there's a kind of a drive and a motivation that every good designer has. There's a quiet personality there as well, and quite humble, also kind of Joe, funnily enough.
It was evident very quickly how talented she is and how much potential there is.
Thinking about like the values of Joe Casely-Hayford, there's like a strong emphasis on really knowing your craft, and if you think about silverware and tailoring, taking that and developing it and redefining menswear, that's something that I hope to do in my own way, but with knitwear. I think that's like something that I consider in my work and where I kind of want to push things. Advice I'd give to someone applying for the scholarship would be yourself firstly. I think I was really intentional with what I wanted to achieve and get out of this degree. So I think if you really know yourself and relay that across, that's probably the best advice.
Legacy is really important to any community or any industry. Without legacy, it's very difficult to understand what comes next. And it's really important that we see people in our industry that look like us, and we believe that we can make that journey ourselves. And legacy lives on. So once you establish legacy, it's always there, and it can't be denied. Increasingly more and more, we recognize fashion's importance to society and to culture. It is a medium for people to express themselves, certainly. And when you widen that to a broader group of people, it becomes more inclusive and diverse. Actually, it's at the forefront of positive change.
I'm excited by the fact that we are now in a time where Taya's journey and her story isn't written for her by someone else. And when my dad was her age, people tried to do that, and he did everything that he could, mainly through his clothing, to prevent that happening to others. And I think he'd be incredibly proud to know that the scholarship is doing something to shift it up.